Here it is. Preparation and reflection maximize every experience. Now, I call preparation and reflection the bookends of success. Preparation on the front end, reflection on the back end. And I just want you to know that I think that if all things that end well have to start well. So when you hear people talk about the end, I say, no, let's start at the beginning. If we can start well, we have higher odds of ending well. So I'm going to talk to you about preparation. I'm going to talk to you about reflection just in these few minutes that I have. And first of all, I want you to know there are three things that when I do preparing that I always concentrate on. Number one is I prepare continually. Now, there are two types of people. There are the people who wait for an opportunity and then they get ready, and then there are people who get ready to find the opportunity. Bill Bradley was a great basketball player. He played in the Ivy League. He played for the New York Knicks. He was an all-star. He also became a senator. I think at one time he even ran for president. And Bill Bradley's father, one time when he was just a young kid learning to play basketball and getting pretty good, he said these words to him. He said, "Son, when you're not practicing, someone else is. And when you meet that person, he's going to beat you." In other words, his father said, you have to be preparing, practicing continually. It was Joe Frazier, another champion, who said, champions do not become champions in the ring. They merely get recognized in the ring. Their becoming champions happens in their daily routine. I am continually preparing. You've heard me tell about every day. Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. Every day I ask questions. Every day I write. Preparation never stops in my life. So I prepare continually. Secondly, I prepare visually. You see, your expectation determines your preparation. What do you see as a picture of yourself? When I was in the fourth grade, I went to the Mill Street Gym in Circleville, Ohio, and I saw my first varsity basketball game, and I leaned up against the railing in the balcony when they turned all the lights on and they put the spotlight on the huddle, and they introduced each player, the starting lineup for the Circleville Tigers, and as that spotlight would follow them out to the middle of the court, the people stood up and they cheered, and I'm in the fourth grade, and I said to myself, someday that'll be me. I'm going to learn how to play basketball. I went home to my dad, said I want to play basketball. He got me a basketball. We already had a driveway, got me a basketball backboard. He got me a basketball rim, got me a basketball, and I started playing basketball. Now, here's what I want you not to miss. When I say I prepare visually, here's what I want you to catch. Anticipation, the picture of what I can become. Anticipation in my life replaces self-discipline. When people hear the fact that I get up at 5:30 in the morning, they say, and write sometimes 5, sometimes 4:30. They said, John, you must be very self-disciplined. No, I'm just full of anticipation. I can hardly wait to put my robe on, go down to my room, get my 4-color pen, get my Lego pad, and start writing because I anticipate I'm going to put something on that paper that in the near future is going to change and mark somebody's life in a positive way. It's anticipation. So I prepare continually knowing that the opportunity will come and I'll be ready, and I prepare visually. This sets me up. This gives me a picture of what I'm going to one day become. And thirdly, I prepare realistically. Now, that seems kind of like a conflict, doesn't it? I just talked about what could be, and now I'm talking about what is. But I find that they are very compatible. In fact, realism is the foundation that you build your dream on. When you have a dream built on just a hope or a desire, and it has no realistic, solid foundation, you don't have any solid foundation to build on. Let me explain to you what I mean. In my years of leadership and building companies, etc., I was going through a very difficult time. And I read one of Jack Welch's book. He was later to become a wonderful friend. But I read one of his books, and in it he had the 6 rules of successful leadership. Now, I learned these 6 rules. I laminated these 6 rules, and to be honest with you, I carried those rules around me for a long time because I needed them, because Jack Welch was bringing a dose of reality to me. And here were his 6 rules of successful leadership. Number 1, control your destiny, or someone else will. That's realistic. Number 2, face reality as it is, not as it was, and not as you wish it were. That's real. Number 3, be candid with everyone. Ooh, that's realistic. Number 4, don't manage, lead. Look at number 5, change before you have to. Woo. And if you don't have a competitive advantage, don't compete. So I have 2 lines. I have the realistic line and I have the goal line. And I work and live between those 2. And I never let either one of them control or get out of balance or get out of whack. I just keep them together. So in preparation, the front end, bookend of success, I do those 3 things. I think continually, I think realistically, I think visually. Now let's just talk about reflection just for a minute. I'm so glad you're with me today. You see, reflection is so essential because it turns experience into insight. You show me a person that reflects on their life, and I'll show you a person that gains wisdom and insight. And in mentoring, one of the things I teach about mentoring, if you're going to be mentored by somebody, get prepared on that front end, but then on that back end, reflect. Every time I would leave John Wooden, I would have within the next 3 or 4 days after I left him, a day to just go over all the things he taught me and reflect and experience and enact. So I'm going to